What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're having a look at the Super Boss versus Gold Roger. So in this video, I only have one team at the moment versus both variations, both versus Quick and versus Dex. Now, do note that there is no third variation, which is something that we haven't seen before. There's only two different variations this time around, which is actually pretty nice, as you have only two teams to build for, so I like that. And about the Super Boss as well, for those of you who are new to the game and don't know what Super Boss is about, the way that you access it is by completing the regular 10-star difficulty, and by completing it you will get the Super Boss tokens, and you require 30 of these tokens to actually challenge the Super Boss. And the Super Boss HP is shared amongst the rest of your alliance members. So I've done this amount of damage to this Roger here, and all of my alliance members can see the exact same value left, so you're working together to try and clear this Super Boss. And when you do clear it, you get a lot of tickets, which helps you with the actual exchange, getting a lot of those really juicy rewards. And there is a ranking, associated with this as well, so make sure to go ahead and build the teams that you can to take on this Super Boss to do as much damage as you possibly can. So before we actually jump into the teams, let's actually talk about the actual unit himself. Now, in my previous video I did talk about the Goldie Roger, but let's actually talk about his super evolved form this time around. So this is Roger here. I've got him at level 150. He is a Dex Free Spirit Slasher, and remember, a free-to-play unit with a captain ability that boosts two classes of Slasher and Free Spirit by 4.5, 1.2 health, and Strength, Dex, and Quick slots are matching. That is probably, actually it definitely is, the best free-to-play captain effect that we have in the game. I guess technically if you count those Super Pirate Rumble Legends as free-to-play, technically their captain abilities are better, but still, that's incredible to see. And then as a super class, because he gets access to that as a captain, it will give you an ore block, it will give you a 1.75 times attack boost to all characters, and Free Spirit characters will become Super Free Spirit. So it's a really nice effect that he has. And his special ability, 14 turn cooldown, reduces bind by 3, defense up by 3, and resilience by 3, and Free Spirit and Slasher units will get an 800 base attack boost for 2 turns, and also reduce damage taken by 80% for 1 turn. If you have a base attack boost when you launch the special, he extends it by 1 turn. And of course, he does have double special activation, so you can launch his special to get the 3-turn base attack boost. You can actually get 6 turns of bind, defense up, and resilience removal, so great utility that's going to see a lot of play in random pieces of content. And then of course he has final tap. You need to have a tandem or a dex slot on the final stage, and if you do and you attack with him last, he gets 500 base attack, which does stack with all of the other effects that you do apply prior to that. But of course, I think this is probably going to see a lot of play with Bon Clay, as you can make his base attack boost last for 3 turns. It's definitely a lot better than Roger's base attack boost that he applies by himself. But either way, not too shabby, and you could actually make it 4 turns realistically. It's pretty interesting. He does make dex slots matching to Free Spirit and Slasher. And what does he do in Rumble? I actually didn't check that. So his ability is Dex teammates level 5 health, level 5 speed, and if he's below 60% health, he gives himself level 4 defense. That's not too bad in terms of a defense team. And then a special ability on a 32 CT is incredibly high. Targets enemies in a medium range for attack down level 6, speed down level 6, defense down level 6, and then 3 enemies for 2200 fixed damage. That's interesting. I don't know if this guy's ever really going to see play, but I suppose if you are building a Dex based team and you need another character to add to your crew, this is not a bad option. His cost is relatively low, he fits in a lot of teams. Free to play units also don't require that much Rumble EXP to get to max level, so I could definitely see some people with lower leveled accounts using him in a dex based team. Not the worst, not the best, but that's going to wrap it up from the introduction. Let's go ahead now and actually jump into the content against the 2 super bosses versus Quick and versus Dex. So getting into the teams here, first of which, this team was developed by one of my alliance members, Akainu86, so shout out to him for putting this team together. A very obscure team, and you wouldn't think this would be one of your go-to teams to go against a Quick boss. But this team does end up putting in some work. So the team works in by using Luffy on stage 2 just to ensure that we can kill. If you don't kill the mini boss on stage 2 on the first turn, you're going to be inflicted with 3 turns of slot bind to your whole team. So that obviously is not good, because only half the team actually have slot bind resistance, which means that our damage is going to be significantly neutered. So we've got to make sure that we can actually kill him on the first turn. And another thing that's important is we need to ensure that we're able to get rid of all of these slots on our team, because we want to get tandem slot on King, and we want to have Wano slots on our top 4 characters with the super class of Kaido to ensure that we're actually doing more damage than we normally would. So you do have to make sure that you are doing the right amount of damage. You want to make sure you can get rid of all these nasty rainbow slots. You know, normally not that nasty, but we do want to get rid of them, of course. And of course, with Bon Clay, we get a really good base attack boost. We're going to be using his special to change him into a deck striker powerhouse so he has synergy with the rest of the crew. We have Ace and Yamato with their switch effect for the chain boundary. We also have the Kaido, which has his amazing super class special and the special itself, giving you the conditional boost against increased damage taken, as well as the 2.75 times slot effect boost. And then we also have the special of Ace and Yamato, giving us a 2.75 times attack boost. And then the Eneru here gets rid of the damage threshold on the enemy, as well as gives our Striker and Cerebral characters a 2 times color affinity boost. So in that way, we can get the affinity, we have attack, we have conditional, we have chain boundary, we have essentially all we could possibly want. And then we also have the final tap of Luffy and the Straw Hats, mine personally at level 5, just to do as much damage as we possibly can. They're just one of the best characters to be using in Super Boss Kizuna. So I don't know, we may be changing this team as things go on, but currently right now, this team is probably what I'll have to stick with for now. Now we get to the fun stuff. Now we get to use Kaido as a captain with the full strength squad, essentially, going up against the boss versus Dex. So this is really, really good here. I love using this team. It is just so much fun. The amount of damage you output is just absurd. And of course on Battle 2, there's also the gimmicks of the boss, which says that if you don't kill him on the first turn, he's going to bind 3 random characters for 5 turns. So with sockets, it's only 2 turns. Now, personally, I really don't mind about that. You'll see in this case here that we do it in such a weird fashion, but realistically, you don't actually have to do anything. You can just tap past the turn, you get inflicted with bind, and we have Rayleigh support on Luffy and the Straw Hats because they're not going to be heavy damage dealers by themselves anyway. Their final tap in and of itself is the damage dealer. So it doesn't matter having any specific support, just having that Rayleigh to get rid of the bind after the first turn here of the mini-boss is great, because after the first turn, the mini-boss actually just leaves. So you don't even have to kill the mini-boss, which is huge. So you can use that, use the support of Luffy to get rid of the bind. You'll move on to the final boss stage. You get inflicted with bind again, and you can use a couple different ways to get around it. You can use the special ability of Ace and Yamato to proc the Whitey base support, or the more ideal scenario is to go ahead and use the super class special of the waifus to unbind your characters, and then use the special ability of Kaido first, because remember, both Kaido and Ace and Yamato both have conditional boosts, but Kaido's conditional boost is more significant. It does more damage to the enemy because it's a 2 times conditional versus a 1.75 from Ace and Yamato. We've also got Queen. Queen is so good because he gives base attack boost, and remember, if Queen has a Wano slot or a tandem slot, when he attacks, he inflicts a minus 10% resistance to Striker and Powerhouse on the enemy, and that goes through immunity buffs as well. So it means if a character is both Striker and Powerhouse, they actually get like an extra 10% bonus damage, but it's multiplied twice. 10% damage boost multiplied by a 10% damage boost, because it applies 2 separate debuffs of resistance down to Striker and resistance down to Powerhouse. So Queen's crewmate effect adds a lot of additional damage to your crew. Another thing that was not stated is that you can't use a chain boosting special, so Jack's special here is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, that is going to wrap up this video today. I'll leave you guys with this clip doing absurd damage towards the super boss. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.